All right, I can answer this with video and talking better than I can text it. Um, so actually go to there's not necessarily one position that you got to land in for your, like, it's not like 45 degrees open at hips, or 45 degrees open at the hips is like the magical number or anything, or like the difference between the separation degrees is not the same for everybody. So the basically the trick is, if this thing can get to there, I think the frame rate was this high. All right. Come on. Come on. All right. Motherfucker. All right. So, all right, let me try to get this. But basically, you want to be just open enough that whenever your front leg accepts weight, that it can hit it and open up. So like if you have a door, that's a bad example without showing you, but your hip has to be open enough so that whenever the front leg accepts weight, that it pushes it back to like 45, 50 degrees open. And that's where that little snap from 10, 15 degrees open to 40, 45, 50 is, and how fast it happens is what torques the shoulders and then what transfers everything up. So let me see if I can run this one to be able to see it better. All right, if you were to draw a line, so you'd have to go perpendicular from the mound to find the plate. Looks like it's right about there. So if we had probes on his hips, and be one there, and then probably one back there. So his hips, he's pointed here. So he's almost parallel with the path to the plate, and then the shoulders are cocked. They're counter rotated. All right, so if I undo one, and then go back to this, if you keep going, this thing doesn't tweak out on me. Okay. So he's one frame above heel strike there. Hips are probably probably is exaggerated. Let me draw a better line. And again, this is where the probes come in. You get to mark everything. So it's probably here, and then shoulders here. And then as this front leg accepts weight, it's gonna really kick open that last bit, and that's what you see right here. So now if we draw another line on it, he's there. The important thing to see is look how these lines all cross, and that's on his, like if you had a pinstripe on your pants, that part of your pants or hips stay, and then you rotate quickly around that, and that's why you have to flex your back. It's not a, if you were to move and then spin in one position, that's where guys fall off real hard. you have to rotate as you're moving forward. That's the tricky part. But that's what causes the scap retraction and the layback and all that stuff and the chest protrusion. So it's that's why sequencing and timing is so important and so tough. So I'll go to a side view of Bieber just because I have it. And we'll see. And these videos are easier to slow-mo.
Coming off a very fine year, 15-8. Now the 2-2 count for.
All right, I missed it, so we're going back. All right. So again, different angle, you can only see certain things. All right, so based off of his belt buckle. Come on, there we go. All right, I'm keying off his foot and his belt buckle. So in the next frame, the foot starts to open and this part of his belt starts to show. So that looks like he started his rotation in his legs. And you can see he's maybe that's 6 inches above the ground. And then his foot doesn't go forward. He's not pushing forward down the mound. Your forward movement is all momentum. Once you get your foot to where it's going to land, you rotate. And that's where you can see it in his hips here. The next frame, this is going to really show. And this belt buckle is going to turn the corner almost. And then next frame, this sits into the quad. And that's what creates that collision of the pelvis and snaps it back. So he is just about into perpendicular, and then you see his hip gets hit in this next frame, and that's what finishes the arm kick up. And then because of momentum, it's going to fall over the hill and then lay back. And that's as that linear momentum going down the mound starts to take over the chest, and that's why it shoots out like that. But the arm and hips have to be out of the way for it to happen, and the arm gets left behind. So this is blurry, but the ball is roughly here. All right, so the ball is roughly here on this one, here on this one, and then it would be right about here on that one. So the ball kind of stays in the same spot as the forearm falls down and the elbow starts to get dragged forward. That's not something you really want to try to do. It all stems from the legs. Like if your legs are on time and they're doing the correct things, then that will transfer up the arm, and then you just control the arm. Trying to lay it back it can get dangerous. So yeah, pretty much you want to be open enough when your front foot hits that it can click your hips completely open. So you don't want to land completely open. You want to be landing as you're opening, if that's the best way to say it. Pretty much land, for lack of a better use of numbers or measurements, 15 degrees open, and then by the time the leg completely accepts weight, you should be 45 degrees open. Those aren't going to be the exact numbers, but just to try to give you a visual. But yeah, fixing the legs will allow you to control everything up top while there's energy being transferred. So I'm not saying you're doing this, but a lot of people will try to fix the upper half and the arm path when the legs suck, and it's just impossible. And that's where a lot of guys get hurt. They try to change the way their arm moves, but their legs never change the way those move, and then it just gets all discombobulated and something pops. So yeah, that's my best answer on that.